Hello, everyone. So now is time for our world famous music data project presentations. So every year, less than half of the participants that register actually end up to the point of completing their presentation. So know that those that remain took a lot of effort and grit to get here. We had a total of 200 registrations for the project. By Thursday, we were down to 113. By Friday, 89. By Saturday, 86. And today, 74 people are going to present their projects. So here's how this process is going to work. There'll be 3 rooms presenting simultaneously. Each room will have a different set of presentations. If you joined in to watch a specific room, you'll be able to find their name if they made it to the end and which room they're in the description within the YouTube Live. The room topics are broadly clustered into 3 categories. Category 1 are our artist projects presented by The Orchard. Category 2 are revenue and projection related categories, projects. And then category 3 are coordination, community, and collaboration related projects. If you like to watch category 1 artists, then stay in the room that you're watching this. So stay on YouTube Live in this page that you're on if you're there, and stay here in AirMeet if you are a participant that is in the category 1 group. If you like to watch presentations from the other categories, click the links provided in the YouTube Live description to head over there, once I'm done explaining this process, obviously. Once you're in those rooms, each team will have 5 minutes to present and 3 minutes for judges to ask questions. The winner in each room is decided by the judges, who will move on. The winners in each room are decided by the judges, and then they'll move on to present their final round, where they'll present again to the full audience and judges. A different set of judges will choose a winner, but everyone will get a chance to give their opinion and feedback because there's also an audience vote. After that, I'll give you a closing talk while our judges deliberate, and then the winners will be announced. We'll follow that up with one last opportunity to network in our free-flowing virtual after party. So for now, all you need to do is pick a room to join, or stay here if you want to watch the artist projects, and we'll start at 40 minutes past the hour, so in approximately 8 minutes or so. Again, in the YouTube Live description, there are 3 rooms. Pick a room, pick a category, find the person you're here to watch, and head over to that room. And then if you are watching the artist group projects, just hang out here for a few more minutes and we'll get you all sorted out. See you soon. Hi, everybody. Okay, so you made it, hopefully, to the room you want to be in. To make sure it's all clear, this is room one. This is the artist projects room. We have two other rooms to watch projects. There's also room two, which is the revenue and projections based projects, and room three, which are projects on coordination, community, and collaboration. Oops. Cool. Okay, so next thing to note, if you are a participant, you should be in teams 13, 4. Sorry, sorry. If you're a participant, you should be in teams 7, 15, 11, 10, 1, or 9. Again, if you are a participant in this room, you should be teams 7, 15, 11, 10, 1, and 9. If you're not in one of those teams, you're in the wrong room and you need to figure out where you're supposed to be. Cool. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to explain again how this process is going to work. Oh, I have to make sure you look close. Give me 1 second. I'm doing so many things at once, you guys. Right, cool. So there we are. Great. So again, the process, we have 6 teams and they're going to present. They have 5 minutes to present. The judges will ask about 2 to 3 minutes of questions. And after they conclude all of the presentations, the judges will deliberate and choose a room winner. That team will then go on to the final round. Those presenting, once you're added as a speaker, you'll be shortly. So Team Savvy, you're going to start being added as a speaker shortly. You'll see a little button at the bottom left in AirMeet. So those that are presenting in this room, you'll see a little button on the bottom left with 2 little like people and a little square. That is the speaker chat. That is where we're going to put a little timer that lets you know how much, like when you have 1 minute left and when your time is up. When your time is up, we will have to cut you off. We are on a very tight schedule. So keep cognizant and keep an eye out on that timer. Cool. Hopefully that all makes sense for everyone. Great. Okay. So we are going to start off. First, I'm going to introduce our incredible judges. I won't bring you guys on the stage right now, so we can all meet you when it's time for the questions. But our judges are going to be Melina Wolfer, founder and CEO of Pockets, Lisa Young Ing. She is the head of digital at Tap Music. Deb Fenstermaker, who is the marketing director and artist manager at Happy Home Music, and Philippe Urel, who is senior ecom strategy and insights lead at Universal Music Group. So a big thank you to our judges for being here and watching these sessions. Really excited to hear your feedback and your questions. Okay, so did the intros. We're doing great. So I am going to pull up our first team, Team 7. All right, I see you all here. Let's get you on the stage. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Excellent. Do I have everyone?
No.
Let's see. Am I missing anyone? Cool.
Yeah, Blanca, she commented in the chat that she's in Team 7.
Oh, there.
And Nikki Thompson.
All right. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. We're working on that right now. We'll get you all sorted. All right.
Yes, they just commented.
So we have Bianca. There we are. Cool. We have the stage. And one more. We said Nikki?
Yes.
Cool. Me. There we go. Me, Nikki. We're going to get you on there and get you all sorted. All right. One more. And invite a speaker. Cool. And let's get Nicole on the stage. Okay. There we are. Is that everyone now?
Yeah.
All right, I will start the timer now. I was gonna say once your slides are up, we'll start the timer, and you guys do so well. All right, so I'm gonna say go.
All righty. Hi, everyone. So our team worked on the artist project with Oreo Jones to prepare for his upcoming EP release. Oreo's an Indianapolis-based genre-blurring artist. He's the co-founder of the rap project Bless and founder of the hip-hop festival Crease. He'll be releasing a solo EP this year called Before It All Feels Similar, which leans into shoegazy and alternative sounds. While reviewing Oreo's audience analytics, we noticed that it skews majority male between the ages of 25 to 34. We also noticed that his primary market is in the US, with Indianapolis as his primary city. Through chart metrics, we found that Oreo's top cities for Spotify listeners is Indianapolis. However, we have seen a 10% decrease in his Indianapolis-based listeners over the past 3 months, likely because he wasn't solo touring and playing his original music publicly. Oreo has a solid foundation for his website branding and musical styles. So our goal with this project is to determine marketing and community building methods to increase streams and re-engage fans in his primary city so he has a solidified fan base and marketing tactics in place prior to his EP drop.
We wanted to compare Oreo to a slightly more established Indianapolis-based band, Wishy. Wishy has a similar audience demographic, and they make indie alternative music similar to Oreo's upcoming project. By analyzing Wishy's growth in Indianapolis, we can determine some successful marketing and fan engagement tactics for his album. On Luminate, we saw significant spikes in Wishy's streams in Indianapolis after engaging with the community, typically averaging 2.1 thousand increase in Indianapolis-based streams after hosting local activations. Based on this, Oreo's album marketing and community management plans should engage with the local Indianapolis community to increase streams in his primary market.
For our marketing plan, our goal was for Oreo to engage with the local Indianapolis community. We designed content ideas such as a Oreo Was Here series, clips showcasing his process creating music, and a fan activation where listeners can share film-like photos of their favorite places in their hometown, which can also be used as the Spotify canvas for the focus track. We want to increase short form post frequency and leverage cross posting between Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, as well as start posting on other platforms such as TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. The release timeline for the EP is projected in late 2026 with a waterfall release strategy, allowing plenty of opportunity to build momentum with fan activations and events. Additionally, reaching out to tastemakers and curators for music playlisting opportunities. We want to implement digital community building tactics to engage Oreo's existing fans, expand his reach, and convert new or passive listeners into active fans. We created a mailing list for Oreo in Squarespace and added a sign up to his website. We also started an Instagram broadcast channel. Oreo can use these outlets to build a direct relationship with his most engaged fans, provide them with exclusive merch and content drops, and leverage fans through announcements to share, stream, and pre-save his music.
We will also host a series of in-person community building activations to engage with his Indianapolis-based fans, such as a pop-up performance with a local record store, a tiny desk-style performance for the web series Music in Transit, a fan meetup in Spade Park, which we will promote on Posh VIP to collect emails and numbers for push notifications and his mailing list, and a film photography listening party for the EP. We can track engagement through email signups, views, engagements, and the amount of people who attend these in-person activations. We can also create content for his socials at these events. Our financial plan is also pretty straightforward. We want to keep our expenses low by being creative with our content and leveraging Oreo's existing connections for these in-person activations. Any budget that we have available will be for professional assets and meta ads to promote the EP, considering that Instagram and Facebook are his largest platforms. Our revenue would primarily come from ticket sales, merch, and physical media sales, and we would funnel this revenue into funding ads, giveaways, production costs, travel, and a contingency fund as well. Thank you very much, and please let us know if you have any questions.
Excellent. We lost your slides there for a bit, but you were able to relay great information anyway, so that's okay. So I'm going to bring our judges up to ask some questions. Judges, you're going to be you can ask questions at random, so I'm going to pick someone. So let's start with Melina. Do you have a question for our team?
Hi, with me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, guys? I don't know if you can hear me, see me. I'm
We
trying my
can hear
best.
you, we can see you.
Everyone, thank you for the presentation. Yeah, I was just mainly interested, sort of to the last point you made, wanting to spend ad money on Instagram and Facebook, seeing that those are the biggest platforms. I'd love to hear what your plan is to further build TikTok, you know, given that it's the biggest and most important music and audience discovery platform. Yeah, just both from a content perspective and I guess owned media perspective, as well as you know, if you're considering any ad spend and or influencer outreach.
Definitely. Luca, do you want to kick us off with some of those content ideas for TikTok specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we definitely wanted to leverage like cross posting, just because, you know, that kind of doubles the like exposure across the different platforms, and it's being resourceful with the resources that we have. Since we do have like less, like a tighter budget on the artist project, you know, we wanted to utilize as much of the resources that we had within the community. And so, you know, one of the content ideas we had was like an Oreo Was Here series where, you know, he can go around in the local like Indianapolis community and film himself and talk about like what inspires like if the place inspires like a song or a feeling, and kind of share that to his socials. That could be a really great series to do, as well as like just more general clips. You know, I looked at his Instagram and I didn't see too many clips of like the creative process. So I think letting fans in on that will really help bridge the gap and connect them further. And yeah, and having like a fan activation, where like users can submit like their own like sort of film like photography vibe style content and use that in the Spotify canvas. That's also like a great way to double up and make fans feel like they're a part of the community, while also growing that presence on TikTok, you know, since the primary sort of platform is Instagram.
Great, thank you.
Excellent. And let's have Deb, a question from you.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
My main question is, first of all, I feel like every single box is ticked on the op side. You definitely have like a super thorough game plan to propel momentum across all the channels, and the research has been done in terms of demographics. My question really, especially this day and age, I think everybody has sort of access to best practices and can tick those boxes. I'm curious, like in terms of how we, I think, stand out as an artist, like thinking a little bit deeper about the narrative and the artist narrative, and like kind of like plugging into like what makes Oreo Jones like stand out as a unique story amongst the noise, and what's going to make him sort of stand out head and shoulders above sort of other artists doing the best practices. How are you going to, what's that unique kind of storyline that digs a little bit deeper into capturing people's curiosity?
Definitely. I think one aspect of it is Oreo has a more like hip hop style background, and his upcoming project, it incorporates a lot more elements of shoegaze and alternative music. It reminds me a lot of music from the 90s. And I think he described this upcoming project in an interesting way. He sort of called it a collage of himself, a collage of different sounds. And he also has like a background in doing film photography as well. So I think we can kind of have this unique narrative of like his photography background along with this project being like a collage of different parts of himself. And yeah, I think that definitely creates like a very unique narrative as far as this project goes.
Wonderful. Thank you. So thank you very much to Team 7. Thank you to our judges. I'm going to move you guys backstage for the next presentation.
All right, thank you.
And I'm going to take Team 7 off the stage so we can move on to Team 15. Cool. All right. Let's do that. Move. Yes. Move. Yes. All right. Is that everyone from your team?
Ryan. Yeah.
Ryan. All right, Ryan, where you at? Let's see. We'll get him on here 1 second. Ryan Cotton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. There he is. Perfect. Move the stage. Excellent. All right, get your slides prepped. And then once you get them up, I'll start your timer. Cool. And go.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to our artist project presentation. Today, we'll be focusing on Sarey Savy's upcoming debut album. And this is what we will be going over today.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sarey Savy. I'm a gay Khmer singer-songwriter and producer from White Center. I create music that you can dance, cry, and feel empowered to all at the same time, and most of my fans are located on YouTube. So as Zoe mentioned, we're going to be focusing on my debut album that comes out in 2027. We're going to be shifting from house music over to R&B. The target audience for this debut album are going to be folks in the Seattle and surrounding areas, ages 25 to 34, LGBTQ plus identifying who are also Asian, navigating mental health, and are looking for music that's empowering.
So we're quickly going to go over the financial plan. The total cost is $33,000. So to break even, Sarey would need to sell 1,700 merch units or stream 5.3 million times. And we assume this album release will cause his audience to grow by 14%. We got that number by looking at a comp from Chartmetric. So Sarey is the first openly gay Cambodian R&B artist. So Marshall is the first openly gay Korean R&B artist. And looking at his last 3 album releases, the average growth rate came out to 14%. Quickly showing the financial plan here. Just want to make sure you guys can see it. I'm going to take silence as a yes. So we came up with a budget, revenue projection, cash flow, break even, and some scenarios whether the album over or underperforms.
And for the brand identity, because Sarey is in a bit of a genre pivot, we use Chartmetric to unify under moods and activities instead of purely just genre. So we agreed upon empowering, Sarey's music very emotional and energetic. We also made a color palette and an EPK. We were able to find some comparable artists, which is Marshall and Kalani. And we identified top audience sector affinities, one of which being the coffee, tea, and beverage sector. And we were able to agree upon using Olipop as a potential partnership.
So for the waterfall release plan, the album release will start in January with singles dropping every couple of months and the final album release in July. And we use Chartmetric data to look at his average Spotify monthly listeners by day and chose Friday to capture the uptick in listeners over the weekend.
We developed sample marketing plan that is aligned with the release plan. Channel-wise, we will focus on social media content and relevant playlist placement and PR opportunities such as podcast and behind-the-scenes show features. You can see examples on the slide. The main goal of it is to increase awareness in the R&B and pop field. With that, content strategy-wise, our key platforms are YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok, and we aim for 2 to 4 videos a week showcasing the music in 3 key formats, one being simple humorous content that generates audience engagement, mostly on TikTok, as we could see from the artist data. And also it allows to tap into general trends that will be popular at the time. Second type is high quality performance videos to promote directly releases and events. And finally, third type is late night serenades, live streams to mobilize loyal fans.
To continue to keep my fans engaged, I'm going to go ahead and do listening parties, release parties, as well as the Serenader newsletter, which I'll be sending out email blasts, and an annual Serenader celebration in which I basically say thank you to my fans who have invested into me financially in the year prior.
And then for the original website, we targeted fan conversions. So while the music was present, there was no clear priority or guided path for users to take action. The current single was indistinguished and social media was buried, pulling away attention from engagement points. With the redesign, we shifted to a conversion-driven structure. So we're prioritizing the latest singles, highlighting the Serenader celebration to increase participation, and surfacing social links for user discovery, and increasing long-term fan retention.
So this is just an example of the rebrand for the website. Thank you so much for your time.
Slides.
Oh, you can't see our slides right now? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. I think we lost the slides for a bit, but we are all good now. Cool. Okay. I think you guys got to the end though, so we're good. Everything's great. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna get our judges back up here. Great. So let's start with Lisa. Let's get some questions.
Hi everyone. Really good to meet you guys. Yeah, I'm really impressed by this. I'm just wondering, obviously you said there's going to be a genre shift happening from like more electronic house music to R&B. How is that shift being communicated to like the existing fan base that obviously came on board for like the electronic music, basically? Is there like some sort of rebranding that's being done, or how are they being prepared for this shift?
Yeah, so we took a look into like Sarey as a person and as an artist, and we looked into the Instagram, what is being commented. We've noticed that a lot of the fans are really into Sarey as an individual as well as an artist, and looking into like the brand of it, like just the colors, the feel. We feel that if anyone can jump in as well, but we felt that like using this, like the empowerment, the emotional mood, as well as like the energy with the shift as it is, it's not that far off. So yeah.
Sorry. Sarey
Yeah,
has
you can-
really loyal core fan base at this point who really drawn to his personality, and we can see it in comparison between the number of followers versus monthly listeners. So that's kind of room for growth, but also it's really good asset. That means that the pivot is not going to strip him off his fan base, most probably, because he did that kind of music before. He was just focused on house music, but now he like fully pivoting into the genre that his heart is lying towards.
One thing
Yeah,
One thing I just quickly wanted to add is that we were looking at playlist pitching in terms of pitching on R&B playlists using websites like Grover, and we also noticed for Spotify that he actually had a larger follower count than listener count, so we assumed that pushing playlists would help with that transition.
Excellent. I don't think we quite have time for another question, but you guys did a great job. Thank you so much, Team 15. And we are going to move on to Team 11. And I'll move our judges backstage. All right. Okay, so we are moving on to Team 11. So we seem to be having some issues with the slides. I'm not entirely sure what's causing it, but people are predicting or guessing maybe when those that are presenting mute or unmute themselves. So just to be on the safe side, try not muting yourself if you're presenting, just see if that helps with whatever is causing it. But we haven't seen this issue before, so I don't know what's causing it. But do I have everyone from your team here? Perfect. Excellent.
Let me just make sure this is.
Give me 1 second to get the timer ready. All right, and you can go.
Hi everyone, I'm SOZI. I'm a music artist, songwriter, producer, and engineer from Los Angeles, and this is our team's project, The Greenhouse. 2 years ago, I did a 30-day songwriting challenge and posted it on social media daily, which sparked this concept of SOZI seasons and why I create music the way that I do. Genre shifting, it's cyclical, it's seasonal, it's the way that I experience life. I released the summer and spring EP last year, and the winter and fall will be this year. So why The Greenhouse? I was such an outgoing kid, but growing up, I was bullied in middle school, and that really dimmed my light. And I wish I had a platform like this to create a safe space, positive mindset growth, and encouragement. This is a house sorting quiz, a world chat, daily practices, and gamified music features. It's in beta launch, but now we're launching it fully.
Starting this project, we realized that last year's releases weren't successful in securing a committed fan base. We noticed on Chartmetric that our listenership tapers beyond these release cycles. So we wanted to re-promote the spring and summer in the seasons this year before we get into the fall and winter EPs. By doing this, we want to use a safe space for superfans to interact to accomplish this. Looking at our fan conversion tunnel, we noticed that the greenhouse sits at this middle part. It's kind of this bridge from a typical fan interaction at low-touch social media to a paid superfan on the SOZI. Looking at our financial plan, we notice with our Chartmetric data that there is this uptrend in follower growth, which shows that these EPs and SOZI has staying power. However, when we look at the catalog streaming, we notice that the tracks from the EP are not present. So there's still some value and potential there, which is why we want to use that existing back catalog to optimize her personal spend. We're not adding additional spend on new projects, but we want to make sure we're primarily investing money on what's already working to reach non-followers, to build that loyal fan base that feeds into future revenue streams, such as streaming and saving her music, as well as having that private community gather fan data for effective brand deals and future promos. And we're starting with that $1,000 budget split between digital marketing and in real life activations.
Yeah, our most performing platform is Instagram, where branded posts and personal posts perform the best. At the same time, we want to engage Gen Z fans, reaching out through their main interest on Pinterest. More detail on the data is coming later in the community management section. TikTok should stay focused as it is the main discovery platform for younger audience in the US. When analyzing the playlist of a catalog and the most performing track on the spring EP that we have been to, you can get a good idea for marketing activations. And for this specific campaign, we have decided to focus on promoting the EP Bloom, which is related to spring as it is time related to this period of the year. The focus track is Just for a Minute, which is the most performing track of the EP and also the only track of this EP that has a music video that can go within the campaign. The KPIs for campaigns offers awareness, reaching to a new audience online with content tailored for existing audience, and in real life activations for superfans or awareness translated to content series. The content conversion would be optimizing social media profiles to make sure everything is accessible, content promoting Greenhouse as a community and premium content, and using the mailing list for the same principles. Play marketing to directly reach out to our target audience.
Our strategy is grounded in how this audience behaves. 64% of Zillennials say fandom is a part of their identity, and SOZI's core age group is 25 to 34. This audience also grew up with house-based identity systems and personality frameworks, making them more likely to engage with interactive, community-driven experiences. To measure success, we focus on engagement, retention, and conversion. Interactive campaigns achieve up to 2 times higher open rates and 4 times higher click-through rates than passive emails. So our KPIs include daily active fans, quiz participation, returning users, and user-generated content. These behaviors directly correlate with higher pre-saves, merch pre-sales, and ticket demand. The Greenhouse uses a gamified system to drive retention. Fans earn points for actions like pre-saving, completing profiles, daily prompts, chat participation, and creating content. The first 100 members receive a permanent founding sunflower badge, which creates urgency and status within the community. This turns casual listeners into invested superfans and builds a self-sustaining engagement loop.
The mailing list funnel would be to promote and convert members to Greenhouse through regular updates. We want to promote a community outside of social media to counter digital fatigue or target audience experiences and unite them around the common interests, her music, and her universe.
So we created a brand new website using Lovable to update the new season branding logo to make sure that the greenhouse was also linked, catering to the aesthetic of the 18 to 35 female audience. The tour page links to Symphony page where fans can input where they'd like me to perform and subscribe. And I make sure that everything was clean, simple, and easy to navigate. Thank you so much. We have our portfolio right here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on time. Excellent, guys. All right. Cool. So I am going to bring up our judges. All right. Here we are, judges. And Philippe, I'm going to have you ask our first question.
Yes. Hello, guys. Can you hear me all fine? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. It was great and nice to meet you all. I would say maybe I would have two questions here. One mostly. So love that you talked about the KPIs, well-defined revenue projections as well. But if you had maybe one of those KPIs or one metric that would signify that this whole operation is a success, like a goal, what do you think you could achieve in there? Is it a simple uplift of streams or overall increase? So yeah, if you had any metric as an objective to achieve there. And then maybe the only other question I have is how you mentioned different platforms, amazing to target your audience, but how will you define within the zillennials target different sections that might behave completely differently, either with the app or also with content that is made online?
Yeah, growing the greenhouse to 300.
I can take this one.
Awesome as well. And Arthur, you can continue from there.
Yeah, in terms of platform, we really want to stay platform specific in terms of the content that works the best on these. For instance, TikTok should stay very DIY, direct to the audience, while Instagram would be more refined, kind of like catalog type of content, to make sure that brand deals are gonna go through that and discovery would be more through TikTok. The Pinterest would be just to be able to reach out fans that are directly related to the music and the universe that SOZI is trying to build.
Great. I think we have time for one more. Let's bring Melina. Oops, 1 second. Move to stage. There we go. Melina, do you have a question for the team?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the presentation. Really love it. So good. Can't wait to check it out in more detail. I was just kind of sort of more touching on sort of Philippe's question, obviously sort of in terms of the audience targeting, and obviously you've answered the question in terms of the age sort of demographics that you're targeting across different platforms. But I was wondering if you're also looking at different locations, so how the current audience is split across different locations, either in the US or elsewhere in the world, and what sort of marketing tactics you're deploying for different, essentially different demographics across the world.
Kathy, you want to take this?
We have a global audience. Oh, sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say maybe Anna can take this. I know she was looking at the community side more.
Sounds good.
Okay, yeah, so we do have a little bit of a global audience. Her primary audience is based in the US, mostly in California, but she has a good number of fans in Sao Paulo and in Sydney, Australia. And I think that the idea of the seasons kind of is how we're bringing like all the fans together across the world, because one of the concepts of the greenhouse is you can change from season to season. And if you're a spring, you could become a winter. And so like in Australia, spring time is different than when it is here. And we kind of bring everyone together because we all have the same seasons, just different times. And it's always interchanging.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. All
Thank
right.
you.
I am going to bring up team one. So let me get our judges down. Cool. Is that everyone in your team?
I believe so.
All right, excellent. All right, I'll let you guys get your slides prepped and then I'll start your timer. Great. All right, you can start.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emanuel Brown, and we're talking about how we can expand my reach into regional touring markets with this one. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I'm Emanuel Brown. I'm a hip hop and R&B artist from Newport News, Virginia, but I'm now in the Seattle area. A lot of my music is based in 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B sounding, and Big Crit, Anderson .Paak, J. Cole, LL Cool J are some of my favorite artists. Next slide, please. So one of the problems we notice in doing research through Chartmetric and everything is that I have a good base here in Seattle, but trying to expand out of here has been pretty hard. So like territories like Spokane, Portland, Boise, Idaho, and some of the venues below are some of the places we were looking at as being a starting base.
All right, so for the start of our research, we wanted to look at the comparables tab. And in that we found under similar artist clusters, we found Alfred Banks. Based off that, we wanted to see if he could be an artist that Emanuel could work with, maybe do show swaps. So we looked into the shows that he did, he has done recently, I guess. And we found ones that were within the region that Emanuel wants to expand to. Next slide. And then for more research for a marketing plan, we looked into the chart metric audience tab, and we found underneath artists with similar Instagram audiences that Childish Gambino, he aligned pretty well with Emanuel Brown with his audience, as you can see, with the age demographic and the ethnicity and even the male to female ratio. So we wanted to use that as a kind of basis of a larger audience that Emanuel can target to grow his reach throughout the United States.
Yeah, so we took a two-pronged approach, sort of approaching growing online and mostly trying to address the problem of being local in a region and having success in that region, but trying to break into another market. So while we use that data to inform social strategy and a little bit of paid ad strategy, we found that the best return is going to be doing those show swaps and finding artists. So we used a little bit of the jam-based data to pull similar artists and venues. We created a website as well for a centralized place to send people for tour dates, to sign up for emailing lists. And the goal here is to create community through show swaps. So to sort of relationship build with other artists, because he's been successful in his region. And we know that there's other artists that have been successful in their regions. It's just getting them connected and making mutually beneficial relationships. So we tried to build the infrastructure to do that a little bit and refine the strategy going forward based off that data.
And so we identified two main positions that we kind of want to take the marketing in. The first being artist collaboration and show swaps. And this will kind of enable Emanuel to build a more general audience by basically finding artists that are comparable to him and the genre that he's in, and making a widespread sort of like outreach to those communities. The second is a data-driven approach. And this is when we take like data collected from events that Emanuel is present at, and we're able to identify more dedicated fans that will kind of like stick with Emanuel throughout. So it's kind of switching from a more generalized to dedicated fan base. Next slide, please. And so for future considerations, we went ahead and used the chart metrics comparables tab, and we exported similar artists, and then we filtered by career stage. And so we looked at under each career stage, the events and venues that those comparable artists have been performing at. And we found out for the developing stage, which Emanuel currently is in, Texas would be a lucrative state to look in venue-wise. And these are like the top venues in each of the career stages. For mid-level, we see that California is one of the better states, and for mainstream, like you have wide range, but these are kind of the markets we should be looking at. Next slide, please. And that was our presentation. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you. Great timing, guys. Excellent. So let's get our judges up. 2, 3, 4. And let's start with Deb. Deb, do you have a question?
Hey, yes. So I love the collab approach and thinking really micro about how to, just really think super targeted. I just think one question outside of the artist collab show swaps kind of CRM building, I just think a question is more of like a broader kind of social media strategy in terms of like what are the platforms that you feel are resonating the most, and how are you sort of targeting the content around those to dovetail into the show swaps and go from there.
Yeah, I can jump in here and get to that. So Instagram is my biggest platform that I perform the best on, Instagram and then YouTube. So definitely through those two, especially Instagram, because I'm very active there and I have a very steady growth base going there in the last 6 months. So I think that could be a good opportunity to use that one as a good way to do that.
Great. Okay. And Lisa, do you have a question?
Yeah, hi, and nice to meet you guys. I was just wondering, it also like the show swap idea is really interesting. Just wondering, would you also do something like obviously collaborating with like creators and influencers and maybe like with local brands? Maybe if you host a show and you invite an artist like Alfred Banks or anyone else, is that like something, I mean, do you have any idea on how to realize like influencer collabs or like brand strategies in that case?
Yeah, I can jump in there too again. So yes, locally here we have done. I've had two partnership deals, brand deals with a water company named Lemon Perfect before that ran for about 2 years, and they would sponsor some of our shows. I've also had another one with another drink company called All In that is locally based here. That is another way to do that. I've done show swaps here before with people from Philadelphia, and then I've gone there. I've also done stuff with a local macaron shop here as well called Puffy Pandy that helps with that as well. Um, and as for collaborations, have collaborated with like other artists in different states, different places. We just haven't gotten to the relationship yet of like figuring out the ways to effectively do a show swap in their region.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to our judges. Thank you to the teams. Next up, we're going to have team. What team do we have? Team one. All right. I'm going to move my judges backstage. Thank you. And a thank you to team 10. I'm going to get you off stage as well. Excellent. Are we missing anyone from your team?
We're all here. Is the presentation showing?
Presentation's up now.
Yay!
You guys did so good. You had it ready before you were even on stage. Amazing. All right. I'm gonna start the timer now. All good.
Amazing. We are doing an artist project on Moonchild Sanelly. She is a South African emerging artist who released her latest album in January 2025 and has had major collaborations with Beyonce, Gorillaz, a bunch of huge artists. We're trying to help her reach and translate better in other markets outside of South Africa, the UK, and EU. So her manager expressed interest in expanding into the US and Japanese markets, as well as gathering and understanding data to better reach these audiences. We also really wanted to focus more on authentic storytelling. The current challenges are lack of data in the regions that they want to expand to. The representatives of the artist want to explore Japan as they believe Moonchild's image and persona would resonate in Japan, although there's no pre-existing data points currently. No mailing list has been built up anywhere, and no cohesive marketing plan has been scaled globally yet. It's only been done in the UK and EU. Other things with touring, when trying to get into the US, there's touring costs, visa processing times, all of that has to be considered as well.
So, diving into Moonchild Sanelly's international audience data defined across DSPs and social media platforms, Moonchild's largest audience concentration is seen in South Africa. And whilst this market is vital for cultural movement and is central to Moonchild's artist identity and origin narrative, this core home market has not translated into proportional ticket sales or revenue for Moonchild. Using Chartmetric's comparables tool, which defines neighboring artists with overlapping genre and audience demographics such as age, gender, and race, we averaged and aggregated comparable artists' regional data, revealing that Moonchild demonstrates significantly stronger international audience translation than neighboring comparable artists. Moonchild's evident international appeal highlights the importance of targeting those tier 1 markets like US and Japan, with Japan remaining a largely untapped audience. And Moonchild's UK audience is approximately 4.5 times larger than the US audience share, which highlights difficulties in reaching US audiences and replicating Moonchild's existing audience stronghold and presence exhibited in the UK. So now, to identify Moonchild's target audience profile, helping to define who Moonchild's key audience listeners are, insights showed that Moonchild's African and African American fans made up of around 75% of audience share, with geographical clustering being seen in culturally dense cities known for large African diaspora communities, such as London and New York. With Moonchild's primary audience persona rooted in these communities, who are likely to really strongly resonate with her origin story, this narrative becomes central in our content strategy, which proposes a storytelling approach delivered through authentic origin story content and interviews. This will help grow Moonchild's international diaspora audiences. In addition to this, key subcultures in Moonchild's primary audience persona, like Afropunk and Afrofuturist subcultures, which are very fashion forward and with fans expressing themselves through colorful and experimental hair and makeup, we propose to target these subcultures through brand partnerships with culturally aligned fashion and makeup brands.
Our timeline proposal for the next steps would be rolling out the marketing campaign before she goes on tour to the US and Japan. Before her album release and album tour in early 2027, we want to pick up as much information, gathering data from different audiences, and building her online audience. So for marketing, we wanted to focus on telling her origin story from South Africa to UK and now a global stage through a docuseries on social media. Moonchild's bold and visual identity has fashion affinity that aligns with Japanese native visual culture, and 42% of Gen Z watches anime regularly in the US. So we think an anime or cartoon approach would be a great idea to tell her story. We'd market the series in Japan and the USA, do support act tours and festivals throughout 2026 to establish the fan base, build up the mailing list, build up fans. Then when the album launches in January 2027, we'd have USA and Japanese data points and fan base established for her tour on top of the current UK and EU markets. Telling her origin story will also tie in with brand sponsorships and partnerships and will help launch her in new regions. We found brands that the data shows already resonate with her audience, and we would continue telling her story through her love of fashion, expression, sports, throughout these brand campaigns. And we have 10 seconds to spare, so thank you so much for listening to us. The end.
Excellent. You did a great job, and yes, you did have exactly 10 seconds spare. Amazing. Cool. Thank you. All right, let's get our judges up here. All right, judges. All right. Let's start with Philippe. Do you have a question?
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Sounds like you covered a lot of aspects as well. And the brand partnership, I think it's obviously a very interesting one, especially when you say that two kind of targets you have behave differently. But obviously, you have the diaspora and the local community. So just to be clear, did you scrap completely the Japanese plan, or is it also a continuity of the anime and the series you were going to make?
Did you say, did we scrap the plan?
Yeah, because you mentioned Japanese at the beginning, the Japan market. Are you going for it? Yeah.
So fully still targeting that. And we were more so thinking of the anime thing. We could be using that in Japan and the US. And then I think in here as well, for some of the brands, we were focused on specific Japanese brands. And the approach was that we can work with them to like tap into their audiences over there. We were kind of struggling with finding similar artists that we're already doing that she could like join tours with, etc. So we thought brands with like the high affinity rating would be a great way to find audiences.
Definitely. That's interesting, yeah, because you have a very eclectic choice of brands here, which hopefully would give a greater exposure you're looking for.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's see. Any other judges? Anyone have another question? We have time for one more. I'll let you guys pick.
I have a question.
Go for it.
I just wanted to know, in terms of, it seems like there's multi-market plans here, quite like I'm wondering if the financing is hinging on the brand sponsorships, or how that's, because obviously you mentioned costs with visas and obviously like global efforts, which requires multiple promotional teams across different regions. So I'm curious how that's.
We didn't actually get access to the artist's finances. She has a label behind her, but we were able to discuss with her manager. Japan was more financially feasible, whereas the US to even tour there and get visas in the first place would have to be like ensuring that there's more profits coming in. So I don't think for Japan the brands would be more to help connect with the right audience. I do think with the US maybe it would hinge on brand deals, but we can't really speak on that.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for Team 1. Team 1, thank you so much. Thank you to our judges. We have just one more team left. All right. So I'm going to get us transitioned to the next team, and that is going to be Team 9. I only see 2 of you guys. Is there anyone else from your team presenting?
I think our artist is having connection issues.
Oh, okay. Let's see if we can find him. Give me 1 second. I don't see him in the event at all, unfortunately, so I can't try to get him in here.
Yeah, he's been having technical difficulties.
Oh, he's having computer issues.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I thought you were just
Yeah, like his Wi-Fi or
It
connection.
happens. All right. Well, I will let you get your slides up then, and you guys can take it away. Great. All right. 1 moment. Let me start the timer, and you can go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are Yuzeski's team. Our project topic is about the roadmap to a consistent revenue stream through collaboration. We'll go through some of the biggest concerns our artist has right now and how we can plan on setting the right foundations for him to steadily grow as an artist. And then a little bit about our artist, Yuzeski. He's an Afrobeat singer and a budding guitarist from Lagos, Nigeria. He's an independent artist. He also works a 9 to 5 and has been the source of funding for his music career. Currently, he has about 6 singles, and his latest one is called Mamacita. He's been promoting that on YouTube and across social media platforms. And he also performs in festivals, like in local festivals in Lagos. And for this year, he's preparing an 5-track EP. As a small artist, we noticed that there was very little information and data about Yuzeski on Chartmetric. On Spotify, he has about 16 monthly listeners. His follower count number across social media platforms is like a total of 10.4K. But the good thing is we notice he's most popular in Kenya and Nigeria. He also has Spotify listeners from US cities like Miami, Chicago, and Dallas. So with this information, it looks like he needs more outreach. So for our marketing plan, we want his growth to continue upwards. So we have 3 actionable steps for him to grow his presence and connections. To do so, as a developing artist, we recommend him to start with collaborations. And the simplest way for him is to use an app called Feature, an all-in-one app for artists to find other artists who are ready to collaborate. So he doesn't have to go out there and find people to pitch to. And then he can also write songs for other independent artists in his local music scene in his city to increase connections, and then connect with other similar artists of the Afrobeats genre, like the top 3 shown in Chartmetric. And and one of them being Isoboy. Once he has collaborations going, he can start marketing himself as like a live artist for events such as weddings, parties, and company events. And this stuff can create more exposure for him as an artist and his music. And the third is to create more relatable content, such as like behind the scenes of his work in daily life. And then we have the website. For the website strategy, we thought to keep it simple, user-friendly, and promote his latest single. And then Ayobami will show you what the website looks like.
Okay, so this website was created with Canva, and as you can see, we are promoting his latest single, Mamacita, and also thereafter you can see his bio and also his artist gallery and one of the pictures where he performed at Celebration, and Celebration is one of the biggest celebration of Afrobeat music in Nigeria and in Africa. And so because he needs to extend his reach, also we had to put out a form for his fans and people who want to book him and collaborate with him also. And finally, we have his social media, and also we had to embed a YouTube video, which is the Mamacita that is currently promoting.
And then for the mailing list, it'll also be embedded on the website, and it'll be a great way for him to connect with fans. Besides using social media, he can also update fans on like exclusive news, any shows, live shows, new music releases like his upcoming EP. And then BandLab, we think, would be the best platform for him, so he can send new tracks or albums straight to his subscribers, and it's simple for him to use. And then for the community management plan, the goal is to build a real fan community that engages, shares, and grows with the artist. Most of the community management plan, it's covered in our marketing plan, like doing like more collaborations, engaging with the other small artists, fans and their fan base and community. And then for like the success indicators, we would see like more comment activities, like more engagement, sound usage, returning fans, and real conversations in DMs. And then for our financial plan, most of the expenses.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off. You're at 5 minutes.
Okay. This is our last slide.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, finish up. Go, quick.
Oh, okay. So this is the financial plan. Most of the expenses we checked for this year, it's mostly the studio sessions, photo shoots, and then using feature. And then profits would be the revenue streams like collaborations on songs and live performances.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So let's get our judges up to the screen. Hi, judges. I'm gonna be real. One of the reasons why I let you do that last second, because the judges are very sweet, and if you don't get to finish their first question, it's always let you finish your slide.
Thank you so much.
So let's see, for my judges, who haven't heard from for a while. Melina, do you have a question?
I do indeed. Thank you so much, guys. That was amazing. Really, really good to see. Obviously, you presented sort of that there's a discrepancy between the artist's social media following not necessarily translating to listeners on, I assume, Spotify and other DSPs. And you presented ideas and plans for how to further grow the following and the engagement. But my question is, if the current followers aren't necessarily engaging with the artist and or sort of converting into more active organic listeners, do you think there might be an issue with the content strategy, and how do you plan to address the content plan going forward, not just to sort of drive more engagement with the existing followers as well as any new followers, but also to have a more consistent content pipeline?
I think one of the biggest thing might be like collaboration. We think like maybe collaborating with other artists and reaching like their fan base could help with like gaining new fans that sound similar to the artists that they like. And then like posting on YouTube, or maybe just like short forms on like TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram stories. Just give like little snippets of like his like daily life or like behind the scenes of him like recording music or something that would engage people that are like interested in his life. I think that's maybe one way to connect with his fans and engage them.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, and let's see. I think we have time for one more judge question. If anyone else has a question. No?
Yeah, I have maybe a quick question there. Thank you for the presentation. And so in that sense, the CRM list and the mailing list you were mentioning, do you have any ideas in place to make it really distinguished compared to any of the social media channels? Is it also going to be updates of concerts and things? How is the content going to be an upgrade or something more than the social media?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think since the mailing list will mostly be like on his website as like a pop-up in the footer. We also plan on putting it on like social media platforms like in link in bios. But maybe when you post like maybe a story of him like doing a show, maybe he can send a link to like subscribe to my mailing list or something like that to keep up or follow along for my next show or my next release for music. So I think having just something that's like to show like on social media for them to like click into, so they'll be more interested in subscribing for more.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, we are done. All right. Excellent. So thank you to all of our teams that presented. I'm going to move you all off stage now. All right. There we go. And thank you to our judges for the questions. I really appreciate you all as well. Also lovely to see some of your faces. Well, all of your faces, but it's good to see friends. So hopefully you guys are feeling great. What's going to happen now is there is a bit of downtime. Our judges are going to deliberate for the next like 15 minutes or so. So everyone can go like, I don't know, get a drink or whatever. Judges, you're going to hang out backstage and chat with one another and talk through it. Because there were some issues with the first two teams, I'm going to send over slides for you guys for just those two. So you can view them. Everyone else that's watching over in YouTube Live, you head over to the final presentations. You'll find the link in the description as well. We're going to start at 5 past the hour for the final presentations. So take a few minutes and relax and enjoy until then. Until then, we're all done for now. Thank you so much to our presentation, our presenters, our teams. Make sure you stick around because if you are moving to the next round, you're presenting again potentially at 9:05, and go take a break for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone on YouTube. Don't forget to check the description for the final presentations link, and we'll see you all soon.